Hola, buenos días. Where or English, right? Good
Yes.
morning. Well, good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon or good morning, depending on where the listener is, right?
Exactly, because I was talking now to the US and it was not that late like in here. So how are you? How are you, Shu?
Oh, I'm good. I'm very good. Yeah, working from home for almost 3 months, but safe and healthy.
Okay, thank you very much for being here and sharing your experience. Now you will tell us about everything, but from the beginning, thank you very much for sharing. I know that you are one of my clients that are always very well informed, and I think it's going to be great to be answering all the questions and sharing your experience.
Of course, and I have to say thank you for having invited me. And well, as I always say, if I could be of help to anyone, I'll be so glad.
Okay, sure. So tell us about it, okay? Because I have done some of your procedures, the renewal. Well, it was the modification from Arraigo to Cuenta Ajena, right? Or one of the renewals I did, but you did the
Yes,
Arraigo
yes, you did the
yourself.
renewal for me.
Exactly. But you did the Arraigo yourself. You are preparing the non-lucrative with my help, but you are preparing yourself for your mother. So we
Yes.
can talk about a lot of kinds of permits. Also, we talk a lot about high qualified worker visas because you asked me regarding some of your colleagues. So
Yes.
we are going to be very like wide and talking about a lot of information. But let us know your experience. Let us know where you work and some advices for all the listeners and viewers that we have now. And let's see if this is useful for them.
Yeah. So, well, I don't want to go too much into my own story because you well know that I'm a very talkative person. I could go long and long and long, even 1 hour.
Yes.
I just want to say, I just want to tell everybody that is listening to us now that indeed paperwork procedure here in Spain is nothing easy, and but that does not mean impossible. So one piece of very important advice is that to always stay positive and always have a very clear goal.
Well,
So
you are always very positive.
yeah,
That's right.
so like only if we know what we want can our lawyers, in this case I know you obviously, help us in a better way. Because all we want to look for internship, then we have this the new thing that I'm not so really aware of. There I guess there's a visa that can allow us to stay here for 1 year and what meanwhile looking for job and looking for
Very
internship.
good. Yes, that is new, but we talked
Yes,
about it last year. Yes.
yes. So that's what I'm getting at. Only if we ourselves know really well what we want, can the others help us better.
Yeah,
So
that is very important what you are saying because what I always say is a good job also from a lawyer is telling all the ways that you have to get residency. So sometimes people ask for one because their friend did something, whatever. So they ask for the same. So what I really need is for you what is your situation and what you want in short and long term, and maybe there is a residency that is better for you. For
yeah,
example, the one I always explain, okay, student visa is a good residency, but maybe you comply with the requirements of a non-lucrative and it's better because it's counting from the beginning for nationality, for instance, or different things that you maybe have several residencies that you comply with the requirements to apply for those, and it is a job from you to tell me what you really want or would like to have the rights in
yeah. For
Spain and for
example,
me to advise you.
of course, for example, one thing that have come to my mind right now is that say that somebody has been offered a contract with 50K euro fixed per year, and I think this salary might qualify for the high qualified work permit. But if that person would want to have the flexibility to be able to change job in 3 or 6 months, then please don't go for it for the normal work permit. It would take you better time, but it may compensate in terms of flexibility. So yeah, go back to what we are saying. Just be very clear of what you want, so that the lawyers can help you better.
I will need to hire you too, because that is a very good advice. So that is one that I do a lot. So for example, when you, for example, sometimes high qualified worker visa is your only option, especially if you are going to come to Spain and you haven't studied in the last 2 years and you haven't had any other kind of residency. Maybe there is the only option right now for you because it's not under the unemployment situation. But after a year, people can change to what you are telling, to a normal cuenta ajena, and they are not attached to the company. And there are a lot of people that don't know this, and it's so important what you said, because now I'm having a lot of consultation and they really only ask about high qualified worker visa because they think that is the only thing that they can go for. And I tell them, no, you've been 1 year as resident, maybe 1 year as a high qualified worker or as other kind of residency, but now you can change because maybe they are not that happy with the company, or even that they are happy, maybe they want to decrease the salary because the conditions right now in the economy, and that is going to put in a little dangerous his or her renewal of the high qualified worker visa. So if they are decreasing your salary and you've been here for a year, let's go right away and change to a cuenta ajena, normal cuenta ajena, because it only asks for a normal salary and it only asks to work for 6 months per year. And for any kind of employer, as you say, the commitment or you are not attached to the company.
So actually that comes to my second piece of advice, is that do not hesitate to spend money on consultation with your lawyers. Like I
thank you, Shu.
Yeah, I mean, it's that in the end it's useful, the money we pay. Because what we hear about this friend of mine has done this and that, and I've also heard about that person that's been doing it and he's been successful. But like, these are what you hear, like sidewalk. They're not exactly the official way that can guarantee a successful outcome. And the third thing I would like to say is that be aware that there's a difference between a certified lawyer and gestoría.
Yes, it's true. Sometimes gestorías are not so specialized because they know a lot about taxes, a lot about a lot of things. So sometimes they don't know that much of immigration. They know the general things sometimes.
They know a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
but they are not so specialized in one certain area.
Very good analysis. And the advice of Shu, it has double value because she looks a lot for the money. She knows how much she spends. Because tell us about what you do here in Spain, your expertise, and they will know that you know very well where to spend the money.
It will become more convincing, right?
Exactly.
So buddies, listen up. I studied finance in Carlos de Soto University here in Madrid. And then I pursued a master in finance at IE Business School. So I'm also a certified CFA charter holder and financial risk manager. So yeah, I know what I'm talking about when I talk about money.
It is impressive, your
Yeah. And
CV.
so I know well, at least I should know. I don't want to say that qualification means everything, but at least in theory, I should know that there I work for investment. And well, I work in BBVA in the market risk department. I've been there for almost 4 years. So time does fly. But actually, BBVA is my second company here in Spain. I first started with a small consulting firm specialized in ALM, which is an area about risk management, but it's about the banking book. Where I am is about the trading book. My story is that I was about to finish my master degree. Then, I remember very clearly that my student permit would expire the very same day of my graduate ceremony of master. Such a coincidence for Einstein, very generous for them to do so.
Yeah.
But it happens. It happens a lot. It also happens to my following classes. I'm class 12, 2015. So the same has happened to class 2016, 2017, 2018. I'm just telling to if there are any students out there listening, just don't freak out if this situation really happens to you.
Well, so, now legislation has improved a lot, because now whenever you finish the degree or the master's degree, you can apply for 2 months before, but also with 3 months after, for the búsqueda de empleo, this kind of residency that give you residency. Is not a student visa, it's residency, which is better, and allows you to have a permit to look for a job, which it would have been perfect for you, because you didn't have that and you end up doing an arraigo. You end up becoming illegal because you didn't have time to look for anything and doing an arraigo, right?
Might not be exact, because I was not exactly illegal the moment I handed in my application for work permit, because my student permit was not expired yet, though there were only few days. So what happened at the immigration office is that we were about the officer checked my paper, and he was like, so the moment we handed in the paper, I was still legal in Spain. My student permit is still valid, but it would expire in like 3 or 4 days. So what the officer said at the moment is that your permit will expire so soon that I can't take your case. I don't know if this is correct.
No, you didn't know me at that moment because that was not correct.
Yeah, I should have called you. So yeah, so maybe here is that. Well, I'm just also telling you this so that anybody out there listening, just to make sure that this is not right, that you can argue for it. Yeah. I really wasted a lot of time, because if I have handled it in the other way, I could have started working 8 months earlier.
Yes, because an arraigo takes very long.
Wow.
I didn't know that happened that to you.
Very long.
Okay, so for all of you that maybe happen this to you, because it is normal. It happen a lot of things that are not legal, and immigration offices, sometimes they are not informing you right, and they are not getting your documents like it happened to you. And this was not correct. If your NIE has not expired, even if it's going to expire in 2 days, they should take your documents. Even more, if you have, because in Madrid appointments takes very long, okay? So if you have made the appointment when your NIE was not expired, and when you go to the appointment, it's expired, it is correct, because you have the proof that when you made the appointment, when you booked the appointment, your NIE was valid. So imagine how wrong was the police or the person that told you that, okay? And now it shouldn't happen this, because now we can do everything telematic, which is really very good for the people. But thank you very much for sharing this, because I didn't know that happened. This happened to you.
Life is hard. And I don't always complain about everything now that I'm in a good situation. So yeah. I haven't wanted to bring it up, but honestly, for this interview, I haven't prepared much. But last night I was in bed, pretty much going through my own story of this over more than 10 years in Spain, to think about what I can tell people out there, so that they could suffer less, and they don't need to waste the time that, unfortunately, I have had to waste it.
Exactly, because in reality, you wanted to do a modification from a student to cuenta ajena, right? Because you had, okay. And what happened to you when they didn't accept this? And well, you become then you become illegal, and you had to do an arraigo. Was the same company supporting you? So was the same company offering you the contract?
Yes. That at that point I got lucky. So I got lucky in the sense that that company in no moment retreated, saying that we wouldn't handling you this one because it would take us too long. They'd always kept the contract for all the month that both sides, I mean the company and I, had to wait, so that after almost 8 months, I could finally start working for the company.
That is the very good thing about the new legislation. For the ones that you can apply for practicas, that are all those that you have finished a degree or a master's degree in the last 2 years here in Spain or in your home country, okay? Now the law gives you the permit in a month, mandatory, because what happened to you is not usual. Companies, sometimes, they don't want to wait so long. And this was something that immigration was aware, and what they have done is that with these new permits, always there is positive silence. So with high qualified worker visa, in 20 days, they should approve it, and if not, they approve it in a mandatory way, because if they don't answer in 20 days, it is positive silence. For búsqueda de empleo, it's a month. 20 days also. And in 20 days, it is approved if they have an answer. And in prácticas, it is a month. Which is something that is very usual in your situation. If this legislation was in place at that time, you will have done practicas, for example, or modification to. So sometimes they ask me, what should I do? Do I do modification from a student to cuenta ajena, or do I do practicas? And then it come in place what you said at the beginning. Well, it depends. Is the company going to wait for you? Because if the company is going to wait for you, it's better modificación de estudiante a cuenta ajena. Why? Because you are not attached to the company. If you have a cuenta ajena, you can switch jobs if you want. But if you are going to lose the job, if you don't get the permit quickly, then do practicas, because doing practicas, you get the permit in a month for sure, and it's mandatory to have the approval in a month for immigration. So you see, there are now people have a lot of options, more than the ones that you had in your time.
Yeah, but well, I have some option, and I really have to acknowledge that I really got lucky, because the company waited for me for all the months. Then I got enrolled in the company for several months before I changed to BBVA. And after several months in BBVA, I did the modification from arraigo to cuenta ajena.
That is normally, it is like a renewal, but it's not called a renewal. When you finish an arraigo, the procedure is called modificación de arraigo a cuenta propia o cuenta ajena, whatever you are doing. But really, the requirements are the same as a renewal.
Yes. And here is another tricky or little bit screwed up thing. Sorry for the words. But the thing is that I started working with Andrarigo. So my time of residency started from the scratch the moment I got Andrarigo, which means that my 6 years as students.
Exactly.
Now
That is very.
I have residency, which means I will be able to get larga duración much later than I could have.
Exactly. That is very, very important. When they tell me I want to do an arraigo, I say, hey, no, the arraigo is the worst option because you become illegal, so you lose the time. What is really better is to do the modification or any other thing that you don't become illegal, because all the time that you've been, it counts for 50% of the larga duración Unión Europea, something that now is even today more important. And it's something that I am advising to check my clients. Check if you can apply for a larga duración Unión Europea, because first of all, once you have it, you never lose it. And if you lose the job, there is no problem. Your residency is not attached to be working when you have larga duración. Not even 6 months, nothing. Whenever you have larga duración, you cannot be working and you will be fine. But in addition, if you want to go to Europe to work because there is a job offer there, it's going to be much, much easier to do it with a larga duración Unión Europea than not having that. So if you have a job right now and you comply with the requirements, even if it's not in your plans right now going to Germany or to wherever, do it, because it only gives you the right. It's not mandatory. It only gives you the right, and you never know what is going to happen. This COVID, no one knew what this could happen, and some companies have reduced a lot the employees that they have. So it's always good to have larga duración Unión Europea.
So talking about working in Europe, I've also heard of another kind of permit. I think it's pan-Europe-wise, the tarjeta azul.
Yes, this is
yes.
something
So
that they asked me.
That, and what's the difference between tarjeta azul and larga duración, and what's the pro and con of each other?
Very good, very good question. So this also something they ask me a lot, or sometimes they keep focused at I want blue card, I want blue card. Well, the thing is, blue card, it is a residency that is in the European Union law, okay, and it's very good. It's very good because it's thought for the high qualified workers. It's thought to be approved quick, but the problem is exactly when this was approved, it is because it was a European Union legislation, and countries are so in a different place. They told in order to not give problems to some countries, the requirement is that is under the unemployment situation. This means that for Spain, for example, it's impossible. You cannot apply for a blue card in Spain because it's under the employment situation, and Spain is not good with the employment situation. But, for example, because this was like that, but Spain wanted to bring talent, what they did is publish a law with more benefits, because the governments can publish inside Europe, can publish their own immigration laws, giving more benefits. So what they thought about is, okay, we are not going to be able to bring talented people with qualified people through the blue card because our unemployment situation is bad, so it's not going to be approved. So I bring out a new law, which is high qualified worker visa, and I establish that is not under the employment situation. So, and I do it even quicker, in 20 days. So I take the idea of the blue card, which is there, and maybe it's good for Germany, maybe it's good for for any country which is not bad with the employment situation, but for Spain that we know that they are not going to be approved, we come up with this law that we can bring qualified people in 20 days and it's not under the employment situation. That is why I always recommend, if the people want to come to Spain, no, blue card no. It is worse because it was thought to be useful for all the countries, but in the end is not that useful for the countries that are not very good with the employment situation. But we have the high qualified worker visa, which gives the same rights, okay? And we can also, after ask for the larga duración Unión Europea, or even move to someone to Germany or to Portugal, to wherever, there will be ways to move them. So don't worry. And for sure, high qualified worker visa is going to be better than blue card in Spain. But maybe they've been in Germany and they had a blue card, but it's normal because Germany, it is okay with the employment situation.
Yeah, maybe before the pandemic, not right now. I don't know how they've done with all the administration of the pandemic, but the pandemic, everything has been a little bit chaotic. So, well, let's go back to what we're talking about, the larga duración, blue card and all that. So my case right now is that I'm on the second year work permit. So I have been having the work permit for almost 5 years. I'll be completing finishing the 5 years February 2021. So so from that moment on, I'll be having the larga duración Unión Europea that you've been mentioned several times, right? Or is it just inside Spain?
No, so the thing is, you apply for the larga duración Unión Europea and Spain give it to you, okay? And it's a good time to apply it now that you have a job, you are very stable and everything, okay? But that doesn't mean that you can go directly to a country in Europe and work. You will have to do a procedure, but it's a very small procedure. You apply there and you show that you had one in Spain and they give it to you. So it's much more easier. But it's not automatic that you go there and you don't change the permit. You apply for that permit there, but it makes it very, very easier. But Xu, what I can recommend you, if you like, is I've seen several cases, okay, that they've been approved for the larga duración Unión Europea, counting the time of studies, okay, even that then they become illegal. I don't know if immigration was wrong or it is now a new criteria, but the tasa for the larga duración Unión Europea is very cheap, and I think it's worth it to try it because I know is if they deny it and they tell you that you don't have the time, there is nothing bad for you. You still like you are now, okay? There is nothing bad, but they can give it to you now if they put this criteria to take into account the study time that you have been, even that you become illegal. So this is what I'm seeing right now. So maybe it's worth it if you want to try it.
How has this happened? Because I understand that. Well, I had the understanding that the study time before I became illegal shouldn't count.
Yeah, and it was like that, but this is immigration, in immigration, they are always changing, they are always changing criteria, and I don't want, I've seen more than one case, and I don't really want to tell them, to ask them if this is correct or not with the example, okay? Not to have a bad consequence for these people that I have seen that, and it's,
one thing we are sure of is that once I comply with the 5-year residence time, holding a work permit, they are obliged to I perfectly comply with the requirement, and they are obliged to give me the larga duración.
Exactly, of course. When you've been the 5 years and you are very close, it is true. But for it is true that there is no doubt at all. But just for the people that is watching us, I've seen some that they count the study time, even that it was not continuous. That it was study, maybe they become illegal like you, and then they continue their residency. And I have seen some approvals, and because the application fee is not that expensive, for any people that want to try it. And if you want to try with us, we will try. Just for the people to know that there is no any bad consequence. They just tell you that you don't comply with the time yet, and you continue with your kind of residency. In your case, whatever you want, because when are you doing the 5 years?
February next year.
Well, it is 6 months, more or less, a little bit more. Whatever you prefer, because you are very close to the 5 years. But that if you try it, you will don't have any bad consequence. If you want, we do it with yours, and we inform the people. If you want, think about it.
Okay? Be sure that there is no bad consequences.
Of course, but I'm telling you, there is
just
no bad consequence. You are applying with and for you to know, for all of those kind of residencies, that you have one kind of residency and you apply for other, if it's not approved, you keep the other. You keep the one that you used to have, okay? Just to clarify.
Okay, and well, this have you already made it clear that it won't have negative consequences on the kind of residency that we are currently holding. But will it have any negative consequences when we apply for the same kind of, for example, in my case, larga duración in the future, when I comply with the time requirement?
But what bad consequence can you think about?
I don't know, sort of like, I was just thinking about, for example, something like applying for a visa to UK or to USA. If you are rejected the first time, the second time might be more difficult for you. Well, the same thing happened to an immigration procedure and kind of hearing.
No, in this kind of things, there is there are only and the law says why they should deny it, okay, and what are the consequences, and especially in this kind of residencies that only the thing is complying or not with the time. Also happens with an arraigo. Some people have applied for an arraigo a little earlier than they should. Instead of 3 years, they have applied for in 2 years and 6 months, for example, because they didn't know, they were mistaken, whatever. There is a denial, and when you do 3 years, you apply and it is approved. And with larga duración happens a lot. Not with this that we are going to check the criteria. Also because people maybe they are not sure and they haven't applied for a certificado de residencia, because for you to know, when you are thinking about a larga duración or a larga duración Unión Europea and you are not sure when did you come or from what day you have residency, because you are very, very well organized in your head and everything and with your papers, but a lot of people don't really remember it. Then there is a certificate that you can apply for, that is certificado de residencia, okay? And they tell you the time that you are also as a student and with residency permit. So this is a certificate that you must apply. If you are not very sure, you must apply for to be able to know how long you've been here. But some people don't ask for that, and they just apply for larga duración because they think they comply with the time, okay? And they get a denial and just they wait for the correct time to come and they apply again. I can guarantee you, and this is recorded, okay, 100% by a lawyer, I'm certifying there is no bad consequence to apply for an arraigo or a la larga duración, that you don't comply with the requirements, and then when you comply and you apply, they should approve. You will never get a denial telling you that they deny it because you apply, I don't know, 6 months ago and it was denied. Not at all. This happened a lot with the entrepreneurship projects and all that, but because when there is a requirement that is not objective, is if subjective. So I don't know if this word exists in English, but what I mean is there is something that is clear, 2 years, being legal 2 years or 3 years, that is clear. But having a profitable project is not that clear. What do you understand by profitable? So with this kind of requirements that are not so clear, what is profitable for you? Because 2 years, it is clear, okay? 2 years, we see the calendar and we know what is 2 years. It is objetivo, claro. In Spain, we say that. Pero los requerimientos subjetivos, so what it has to...
what is subjective? What
subjective, exactly.
One way or another.
Exactly.
That depends on one person or another.
That is much more risky when it's subjective, like an entrepreneurship application. It is very risky to do an application and then do it again because they have already in their heads that your project is not profitable or not innovative. So that is much more problematic. But being 5 years is being 5 years. There is no way to be subjective, you know?
And also, like from allow me to say from my professional point of view, the immigration officers, they are not experts in judging whether an investment project and a planner project would be profitable or not. That would take much hard work from private equity or venture capitalists or investment bankers. Maybe it will take them weeks or hours to judge whether a development of, say, Tesla would be profitable. So I don't think personally, forgive me if anybody who doesn't agree, but personally I don't think immigration officers are very good ones at judging whether entrepreneur projects will be profitable or not. So I mean, also I'm saying this because I don't want anybody to get rejected, anybody who get rejected to be upset. If you cannot succeed with this kind of application, maybe you try another. Maybe there is other opportunity for you, like getting rejected or getting a negative result of any kind of application doesn't mean that your residency and your stay here in Spain is ended. So we can always work the situation out.
Well, that is why we do a lot of appeals for the freelancer. Are the toughest one, are the ones that we work the most. And for example, the entrepreneurship now, it is resolved. That part is resolved by the Ministry of Economy. So it's better because at least they have people a little bit more prepared than the people from immigration. So in the entrepreneurship, the part of the project goes to the Ministry of Economy, which is working better than the normal freelancers that we are firing. Because, for example, I have a lot of appeals now that has to be approved regarding the translators. I have a lot of English teachers and translators that work from home, okay? And I have a lot of approvals, but also a lot of denials that they were starting to deny, saying that, hey, you are not a freelancer because you don't have an office. And now what? Now all the government is saying that if you can work from home is better. Now all the society.
Now we're telling to have an office.
All the society, we have proof that we can work from home. So I hope that they don't continue telling me that reason. And for my appeals at the course, it's going to be perfect, this experience, telling that, you see, denying a freelancer because of working at home, because not spending in an office, that was something that was exactly, and we are going to win all the all the appeals, it is sure. But it is a problem when we go to immigration with the business plans, because as you are telling, there are not people prepared to tell and to decide if a business is going to be profitable or not.
So yeah, I was just thinking is that all the kind of application, all the larga duración we've been talking about, like I think I'll be like holding my I will be in no way rushing to apply for the long-term residency because I'm still in time, and plus summer is right on the corner. So I guess though we won't be able to fly to probably not right now, but maybe in July, August. But this summer, nobody knows whether we can keep our original plan of flying to, say, Italy, the States, or India back to China. But still, it's vacation season. So I guess there'll be a lack of personnel in immigration office. So I don't want to be in the middle of a procedure during the vacation season. So I'll probably wait until September.
Okay, but this is an excuse because you are not trusting me. Because while you are in the middle of a procedure, you have the other one, which is correct, the one your NIE that is now. And in addition,
you know what? I mean, I don't like. Well, it's not. I don't trust you. It's that
it was not in your plans. I know you already know you, and it's okay. But let me tell you one more thing. A larga duración en Unión Europea must be approved in 3 months, and if it's not approved in 3 months, it should be approved. Okay. Silencio positivo. So there I leave it, and you do it in January. It's correct because it's the correct thing to do. This was just trying to see the criteria, because I've seen I've seen approvals like that, and I always wonder if this is a correct approval because they have changed the criteria, or is that they have been mistaken for the benefit in this case of the applicant, and it's okay. But so let's go for the questions. But just to close, larga duración, positive silence after 3 months, and having 3 years of 5 years of residency, and 50%, the study time counts in 50%. Normally, when you continue from a student to a work permit, that are the requirements.
Okay. So
look,
I think the question will come up.
Yes, it says, I am a student here now, just 8 months so far. Can I apply for non-lucrative inside Spain? No, you can't. Be approved, then return home to get the non-lucrative visa, like how it can be done with autonomous visa. It is correct. You can do it for an autonomous visa, but you cannot do it for a non-lucrative visa, okay? The first non-lucrative visa are always applied from home if you are changing from a student. Because, for example, I changed a lot of high qualified worker visas to non-lucrative if they've lost a job, or they don't want to continue working. If you have any kind of residency here, after a year you can change to a non-lucrative from here. But if you are a student, you cannot switch to non-lucrative. You need to go back and apply from your home country. I'm sorry for that. Okay, Andrea says, I understand that TS are being extended for 6 months if they expire 3 months before the state of alarm or during it. Does this also mean if I arrive in February of a non-lucrative visa and my temporary visa in my passport expires May 25th, this also applies to me? For example, if I travel outside of Spain during the summer, I won't have problems re-entering the country without a TIE? Okay, very good question. It should apply for you, okay, because everything is extended, even your visa, the temporary visa of the 3 months that you have to re-enter. But in any case, I am recommending you to take the BOE, that is the official law. Raquel, please put here the article that we have in the website, that we have also the BOE, because what I recommend you is to, if you are going to travel and use this this law, these 6 months that they are giving you, extending your permit, or for this kind of issue of the visa of the non-lucrative, and travel with the BOE, because there are some problems in the flights, especially if you are not flying directly. Maybe Germany doesn't know about this, or any country in which you are doing the stop. So we will put here in the comments the law that you need to print and travel with that. We are also offering, if you want, writing documents from the law firm telling everything, just in case you have any problems traveling, and we are doing a lot of those, because you need to have everything very organized when you are traveling, and there are these special circumstances, because people get very nervous, and you start looking there at the airport to the law. You don't find it. You just find an article of a law firm, but doesn't say the official law. The flight attendant doesn't care about what says in a website. They want to see the law. You don't find the law, so it's a mess. Okay, so fly prepared if you are like in this case taking advantage of this extension, which you can, but there will be people out there that didn't know about this and can put some problem with that. So go organize with your file and proving everything. I'm doing documents, explaining everything, but even if you don't hire for this kind of document, go with the law at least, please.
So yeah, sorry for just I have want to make a point about you talk about because a sentence that you just pop up. Maybe Germany doesn't recognize it. So the same might happen with the return authorization, autorización de regreso. Because when I first arrived in Spain, which was 10 years ago, autorización de regreso was valid for me to enter, for example, France or Germany or the Netherlands. But years after that, the situation changed, that with autorización de regreso, I could only land in Spain, not in other European countries. So is it still the same right now, or the case has changed?
Well, it is very good question, because this is something that it is very it is a common misunderstanding, because an autorización de regreso in Spain by law only authorize you to travel back to Spain in direct flights. Be careful with that. I know that they are flexible, okay, but it has happened to me that some people were doing the stop in, and I say Germany because I don't know, it's very common to do the stop in Germany. My 90% of my clients do the stop in Germany, and that's why I put that example. And the autorización de regreso is only valid to travel from your home country directly to Spain, okay? So very careful with that. Try to get as much direct flight as you can. Nowadays, it's going to be even more difficult, so they are going to be even more flexible. So it is true that it's even more important to become prepared with the autorización de regreso, but they cannot ask for something that is impossible. So if there are no direct flights, they are going to allow you. But if you show that you have this law with extension in addition with the autorización de regreso, it must, in the end, they allow you. But as you are telling, being prepared is very, very, very important, because if they see that you are prepared, or that you go with my document and they have a phone to call, they see that you are well prepared and they don't continue with you. Normally, it is easier for... Sure, you can read it.
Oh, here's my question. Right before quarantine, submitting application for arraigo social cuenta ajena. What kind of permit is that? About 3 weeks later, the company that was supporting my application informed me that due to COVID-19, they were unable to proceed with hiring me, as they've had to put people on ELTE. Last week, I found out that my work permit has been approved. What options do I have now? Can I use the permit to apply for a job with another company due to extenuating circumstances? So I understand that our listener here is that there was a support for him to apply for the arraigo social, which would allow the person to work for other company, which was my case. But the different thing here is that this company this time has retreated from supporting for the application, but still it got approved.
Yes, so but it is very common. Now it's happening a lot, but I have a lot of arraigos with the approved, but with the people not having that offer anymore. And in the beginning of the COVID, they already published like a clarification that if this happens, so if the company tells you that it's not going to hire you, and while your arraigo is in process, so not approved yet, you can, in the middle of the process, change the company. So submit another company, and you can do it telematic. But they were saying that in this case,
is that it already got approved. So can it be changed, the company?
The first clarification from immigration was that they should apply again with another company if it's approved. But I am 90% sure that this criteria is going to change, because I'm seeing so many cases like this. I even have a ruling from a court, but a lot of years ago, that was the same, but without COVID. The person had an arraigo approved, but when it was approved, the company didn't give the alta. And I have the ruling saying that immigration should allow that person to get the permit and get a job whenever he got a new offer. In these cases, I hope the immigration change criteria, and if not, we should go to the court, and I'm sure it's going to be successful. They cannot not give a solution for this, because there are a lot of arraigos takes very long, and it happened this thing of COVID, and now for people it's going to be very difficult to get another offer, a job offer. So I think we should fight to keep the permit, so to immigration to allow him to get the arraigo permit, and with this one go to get another job, because once you have it and once they allow you to change jobs, so it will be very unfair, and is very unfair to be the company that you apply for in the arraigo, the only one that can enroll you in Social Security in order for this arraigo to be valid. So if you won't write this, because we need to fight with that. We are going to fight several ones. Okay, Michaela says, I am on a student visa. If I get a job, can I start with practicas first and change it to cuenta ajena later when I reach my 3 years? Who should I apply to cuenta ajena, myself or the company? Okay, very good question, and better answer that you expect, because yes, you can apply now for practicas, but you don't need to wait for 3 years in order to change to cuenta ajena, just for one. After 1 year of residency, and practicas give you residency, you can change to cuenta ajena, okay? So it is better, because you can switch jobs. The requirements are the requirements, no, the benefits are more. So, but it is the company that applies for, like in practicas, it is the same. And the good thing is that now there are no appointments. Now you can do it remotely, which is going to be more comfortable for the company. So in a cuenta ajena, the company has to go to an appointment to immigration, and it is difficult for them to organize themselves to go. So if you tell them that it's going to be everything remotely, it's going to be better for them, and it's going to be more likely that they do it for you. So after a year, I don't know if there are, yes. Okay, okay, she says, when you file a non-lucrative renewal online, does the Extranjería let you know right away if the documents you submitted are complete, correct, or incorrect before they even start the process? Thanks. No, we are not so modern. So you just do we can do it for you. So if we do it for you, of course, we are going to tell you if everything is perfect or not. But there's system doesn't detect if everything is correct or no. So you can get the uploading everything correct, but then they can deny it or tell you what is missing. Majid Latif, Ainhoa and Shu, thanks for sharing this useful video. I have about 2 years continuous studying and research visa. It will expire again 1 month later. I have a PhD degree in computer science. Due to this COVID condition, it is not possible to change my residency type to cuenta ajena or work permit residency. My question is that is the support of high-skilled person with this condition? Well, we have to see how can I apply for larga duración, but does she have the researcher visa or only the student one? Because the researcher visa, because it says researcher visa, if you have the researcher visa, now you don't have any more jobs, any offer, it is giving you, they are giving you 1 more year of residency to look for a job if you have the researcher visa. So write us because you can apply for that. It's like a búsqueda de empleo, okay, but for the researcher. So it is very good. And from that, you can change if you have a job offer to cuenta ajena or to high qualified worker visa, the one that you prefer, or from now if you have the offer of a high qualified worker visa. Will it
And do it quick because his visa is going to expire in 1 month.
Yes, but that is okay. And it says, will it speed up the process of cuenta ajena if you already have a practicas and you apply for cuenta ajena with the same job as practicas? It doesn't speed up because you have to wait for the people to check again everything. But it is good. It is good. It is clearer because maybe they have already checked the company, but they will check it again, okay? So maybe it'll speed it up a little, but not that much. Okay, there are a lot of questions. Lana Garcia say, hi, I got 2 questions. I am going to finish my studies in July and I would like to apply for a 1-year extension to find a job before getting TIE. It is possible to do this online. It will not be impacted by the COVID. Yes, it is, or delayed. I was in process of getting NIE. However, it was halted, and now they told me that I can't get the NIE anymore, and it's about to expire. What I do, I want to travel in meantime, and if so, I can stay in Spain given the 3 months. Okay, a lot of questions here. So, first of all, have in mind that we have these 6 months that they are giving extension, okay? If because when is expiring? Sure. When what did she say?
July.
Okay. If in July we are already we still are in estado de alarma, we will have a 6 month extension, 6 months extension. But in any case, you have the right to apply for Buscada Empleo, and it's much better than extending the student one, because the Buscada Empleo is already a residency and it counts towards nationality, towards long-term residency also. So it is very good. I advise you to do the Búsqueda de Empleo. You can do it online. It is resolved in a month, so it is better. In any case, if you don't want, you can be extended if in July we are in el estado de alarma. Okay, Lena say, also I got another question. Maybe it was repeated, yes, but does my years in Spain as student count towards my nationality? No. For the long-term residency, yes. For nationality, no. So I am currently in the process of getting Spanish nationality, but some people say that it will be rejected based on the fact that Spain doesn't recognize students as residency. It is true. It's completely true. If they do, it's because it's a mistake. And the problem about a mistake for nationality is that sometimes they review cases, and they start a process to taking out your nationality. I had several doctors, okay, that they were taking out the nationality because the doctors can work as mere, okay, with the student visa, and they apply for the nationality, and the time as a student was counted. But after 3 years or 4, the ministry review all these procedures, and they started a procedure of taking out the Spanish nationality, and they took it out. So be careful with that. Even if they granted to you, be careful. I think it's going to be denied, okay? Because a student visa doesn't count. Apply for the long-term residency if you can. Elizabeth Jens, is there any new information on how to navigate auxiliary student visa that expires June 30th and how to renew them? Well, no new things, but you can renew it as always. You could have always renew any kind of residency and any kind of student visa telematic. So you can do it telematic right now. You can do it by post. It is very slow by post, but it's a legal way to do it. And you can do it by appointments in some cities where they give appointments for renewing student visas. And here they will be opening Garcia Paredes. I will check if it's already open right now, the registro office. I don't think so, but I will post it if it's open Garcia Paredes in Madrid to go and submit the renewal. Okay, Rachel say, hi, thanks for doing this live. I am auxiliary and I have renewed for next year. However, it's being recruited for a job in Canada. And I am wondering if it's possible to accept this job but work from Spain. Is there any visa option that will enable this? Well, if you can do it at the same time as the auxiliar de conversación program, you can do it, of course. I have a lot of people doing this. I have a lot of people also in a non-lucrative working remotely. There is a lot of confusion with this because now consulate starts saying that they are not accept anymore remote control jobs, but they haven't denied any of the ones that they've approved, and they know that already are working remotely. So take the job, of course. Okay, well, the last one, Raquel, that we cannot have here for all the evening. So Kira Singh says, hello, I have been here for almost 6 years as an auxiliar. I do not have a job offer, but can I modify my student visa to cuenta propia? Also, can we submit the renewal papers as an auxiliar after 90 days after the new expiration? For the last question, yes. You can do a renewal during these 90 days after expiration. And for the first question, yes, you can change to freelancer. I do a lot more modification from a student to cuenta propia than to cuenta ajena, because it's more difficult to get an offer as Shu got an offer and she did an arraigo, but it's not that easy. So a lot of more people do cuenta propia, but for do the cuenta propia, you also need contracts, but contracts with clients, the future clients that you will have. We are very used to do that. We can post here some videos explaining how to do it. And Laura says, how is residency under law 14 different? Does it count the same towards the larga duración visa, or it is more like a student visa? No. It counts the same. Every residency of that law, it is better in sense of it's quicker to be resolved, but it's worse in the sense that you are attached to the company, okay? For practicas, for high qualified worker, but the residency itself counts the same for nationality, for larga duración, for everything. So in that way, okay. Dow Jones says, hi, I am a non-European Union with a French student visa. I already finished my study, but our graduation is on February 2020. So I'm still under a student visa. My question is that if I find a job in Spain, how do I process this? Do I do a residency, the practicas? Yes. Or already a work permit? I don't want to go back to my country to process it since I'm already here in Europe. Well, you will comply the requirements of for residencia de prácticas that is already a residency, okay? And it gives you the work permit to do the 40 hours of job that you get, or high qualified worker visa. It only depends really in the salary. If they are giving you a big salary, you do high qualified worker visa. If it's a normal salary, you do practicas, but really the rights and everything are going to be very similar. So it's just be choosing. Lola says, hi there, thanks for this in advance. I am non-European Union. I only just got my approval for the pareja de hecho temporary residency application. Very good. In the resolution document, it states my NIE, okay? Which is the same one from the time, yes, it never changed. But it doesn't state my social security number, no. Will I get a new one, or is it the same from back when I was on the student visa? It's going to be the same. So I need to do anything to reactivate it since my student visa expired a while ago now? No. So if you have the family member European Union permit now, your NIE is the same and the social security is going to be the same. So if you have a company that wants to hire you or whatever, just they will have this, you can give this same number, social security number. Okay, no, one more. Okay, wait, that's that. German says, hi, Ainhoa. When doing practicas and you will be up for renewal for practicas in the very near future, can you do both modification to cuenta ajena and renewal for practicas at the same time? What happens with the time you are waiting? Can you still be working in the meantime as well? Thank you. Yes. You can do both at the same time, and if it's the same company, you are going to be able to continue working for the same company. If you are changing companies, it is a little bit more tricky, okay? They are not saying anything, but you shouldn't be working. But if it's the same, no problem. Lena says thank you, Shu. And I also say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you to our listeners.
So, Raquel, I don't know. Have we finished? I think that yes, because if not, she will put another question. Okay, so I really love this interview because you know a lot about immigration, so it's very useful for our viewers. Maybe I tell you to come one more in Spanish for the Spanish.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, perfect. This is recorded. You cannot change.
Okay. You have my word.
Thank you very much, you, and thank you to all the listeners and viewers. Of course, thank you to Raquel that is always helping us. And well, good luck with all the permits that you are applying. Remember, do it remotely if you can. It is better. Do it like telematic. They are resolving. We have a student renewal. Renewed in one day. Sure, this is
Wow.
This is wow. In immigration is wow.
It's
So
wow in Spain.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I encourage you all to do it telematic if you can. Even if you don't want to hire our services, you can do it with the digital certificate. We can even only help you with the digital certificate to get one. And tomorrow we are doing an interview with our translator, okay, with our official translator, Tamara, because there are always a lot of questions about translating and everything. So I will be tomorrow again a little bit, not as much, maybe half an hour with Tamara, explaining legalization and translations. So, well, Shu, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and good luck to everybody.
Thank you. Bye.